Hi, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to my channel here. I've got Monica Hanlin with me. We're going to get started here shortly. In the meantime, as everybody's kind of logging in, go ahead and just take some nice deep breaths. Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to your weekend. Welcome to springtime. So just yay for you taking this time for yourself and taking time for a group healing meditation for Mother Earth and all of her beings. I've done this with Monica a couple of times and it's really quite incredible. So go ahead and get quiet, get centered, really feeling anchored into your body here, really feeling connected to Mother Earth. Feel yourself here really be present and open to receive, open to give. And we'll get started here in just another minute or so. We'll let other folks join and we'll get going. And at the end here after the meditation, we will be available for questions too. So we'll do a Q&A for anybody who wants to stick around for that. And we'd love your feedback as well. Nice deep breaths. And I'd like to just invite in our teams. Humbly ask and pray to be joined by our etheric teams of light, hear all of our guides, everybody who's on the call and everybody who will watch this later on YouTube. Let's bring in our guides, our teams here, our higher selves for our highest good. Stating that out loud with our free will, we're asking for what we want here. We're asking for what we need. All right. How you feeling, Monica?
Floaty. I feel good.
Yeah, me too. I feel
Thank
a
you.
lot of energy movement here.
Mhm.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Um, Without getting too far out of our floaty zone here, I mean, it would be great, Monica. I think, the people that come to this YouTube channel and who have been drawn to the frequencies here, we're going through a transition. We're awakening to the reality of what is going on here and what we really are. And we're all star seeds or light workers of some kind here to
Mhm.
help raise the vibration, right? So, at
Mhm.
least even for me, really understanding that and embodying that and just being completely surrendered to this concept, and I think, we weren't always like this. There was a time before our awakening where we really didn't know what was going on. We are new to this, so this is just this big continuum. We've got people on all sides of the spectrum in their awakening journey. But I'd love for you to be able to tell the audience, what what happened for you to get to this point now where you are channeling a guided meditation from your guides for healing the planet? What the heck happened?
No kidding. That's a loaded question. I've been doing some pretty big one-on-one healing sessions for about 15 years or so, and they're usually to help people. Like I see and say a lot with my eyes closed, which I will do in this session, by the way. But I see blocked energies and I help move them, like if the person's stuck or they're, stuck on, a trauma or just stuck in life. And then it's morphed to medical, as you know,
Mhm.
medical healing with people with all sorts of things going on. And then I began doing the hour meditation a day. And boy, did that, wow. I mean, at first, like, wow, this is really a commitment. But, after each meditation, I began writing in a journal. I would say, what does my soul want to do? Because I wanted clarity on my life path. I was in corporate America forever.
Yeah.
So every day I said, what does my soul want to do? And all these just started flowing out. And then it morphed to asking me to grab a few people like you to do these, you know, focused healings of different countries and so forth. And then my guides were having me do this in my meditations, for different countries. And then one day in this, the whole hour, they were showing me specific steps to do to gather people that already have audiences like you, because everybody has their own audience, their own type of people that we migrate to, right?
Yeah.
And to pull in all these people, and and they showed me all these steps to create this grid, and I'll walk everybody through it. And it's and to try to keep it neutral. And they were saying that it went from all this divisiveness of like they're wrong, I'm right, or whatever, and to this all this introspection and self-healing and awakening on different levels, to now stepping out for those of us that are ready to be a part of this healing of the whole earth, and all of us, in a neutral way. So we try to keep this neutral. Sometimes in these group sessions, a person or a country will come up, and I try to keep it neutral, just try to focus on this grid that I'll walk everybody through. So that's kind of a long answer, but hopefully that makes sense. So it's kind of morphed over time.
Yeah. And
Is
again, if you've got more questions for Monica after the
Yeah.
meditation, we can answer those. Yeah, thank you, Monica. I mean, it's beautiful, and it's it's exactly kind of what the Galactic Federation of Light has been talking about through this channel. We went kind of from really working on our individuality and our singularity and kind of getting our house in order. Now, they're very much talking about being in service to the collective. So for those of us who are ready to be in service to the collective, this is where we're at. So it's just, we're seeing this with your guides. Like this is actually happening, work on behalf of the collective. One other thing too, before we get started, because I find it really fascinating. When you were writing down your questions, okay, universe, what would you like to tell me today?
Yeah.
And I mean, and you're an artist also, so you'd have like these beautiful visions, and then you doodled your flowers and the earth and angels and alien kitties and all this beautiful stuff coming through, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and you were just like, can you believe this is coming through? I remember you telling me these things like, yeah, this is great. And also you kind of your phone calls, Sean, I just, had this, strange channeling. What do you think of this? So you guys, if you're getting these kinds of things where information's coming through and it feels like it's outside of your consciousness, like what happened to Monica, what's happened to me, it's really nice to find somebody else who could, and I know a lot of you don't have this kind of person, but to bounce those ideas off of and to talk through them. And I'm certainly available if this is happening for anybody in the audience. Please reach out to me if you need somebody to talk to. And Monica's available for one-on-one healing sessions as well. But tell me a little bit more about that moment where you realized, oh my God, I'm getting answers.
Well, so I was taught that at first, when you start writing down whatever comes to your mind, when you say, what does my soul want to tell me? Or what does my soul want to do? You just make it up. You just write. And then you also write what you wish they would be saying.
Hmm.
So after you do that, you know, repeatedly, it just you become a clearer channel to have it make more sense when it comes out. It's going to have your personality. And one super key thing that helped me was to, I mean, I live with my two kitties, and since they don't speak English, I couldn't ask them to read it back to me. But what I did is I recorded it. I recorded what I wrote, and I played it back. And when I played it back, especially a few days later, it just was
Yes.
stunning.
Oh my
And
gosh, I love this.
yeah, and I'll play them back and go, oh my God, that makes so much sense now. And
Yes.
so it's just a few of those steps to
Yeah,
do.
because
It's really fun.
in that moment when it's flowing through you, you think, oh, this is just me, I'm making this up. But then you go
Yeah.
back later and look at it and you're like, I did not know that answer. And now I do. Like that came from outside of me. It is. It's like you go back to
Mhm.
that. I love the recording aspects. That's a huge tip for people. So thanks for that. I think
It
that
is a
could be
huge
really, real.
tip.
And now and so this was only what, 4 or 5 months ago? 6 months? A year? Tell me. I mean, time, I
I've
have no
been
idea.
I've been doing the writing part for about a year and a half, but the hour meditation part I've been doing as part of Kyle C's 90-day challenge.
Kyle's amazing. Yeah.
I love him so much.
Yeah,
And
he's so good.
I think we're on day 60. So
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
pretty new. And
Yeah.
I don't watch the news. So
Right.
when my guides were during my meditations guiding me through to do this grid thing for Australia, 2 times in a row, I thought, "Oh, okay." And, I saw these amazing things that this goddess come out of the land and look around and turn and look to me and said, "Thank you for helping me be born." I'm like, what? Anyway, but I'm going with it. And then I learned from someone a few days later, that's when the flooding started. That is still going on, I guess. And people aren't, well, we don't really see it much in our mainstream media.
Right.
But so there's a lot of validations with
Yeah.
what comes through when you
Yeah.
get in a routine of meditation and then asking, what does my soul want to do? There's a lot of validations that'll come through. It makes life fun.
Thank God for this stuff, right? Otherwise, yeah, so I'm so thankful for this journey and for, this ability to have this platform and this community and to be working with people like you, Monica, who are, you're stepping into this, like we're, we're just really taking these huge leaps, guys. Meditation, journaling, asking for what you want, using your voice, articulating your needs, asking your questions, meeting your guides halfway, creating that sacred space. My one-on-ones have really morphed in the last few months to where you're talking to your guides or you're getting the knowing. Not everybody's going to hear or get visions like Monica or hear like me. It's the knowing that's important, guys. This is where it's at. You get the knowing. So however that happens for you, the mechanism doesn't matter as much as just there it is. That knowing in your heart that this is real, this is right, and this is who you are and why you're here. Wow, getting on a soapbox here. All right.
It's okay. It can take some time too, and it can come and go as we go into we
Yeah.
have our human mode problems.
Heck
It
yeah.
can come and go.
And that's
It's
so
still there.
true. All right. So are we ready to get into this meditation?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
Okay, so everybody, I'd like you to, if I get really quiet, Shauna, feel free to step in here and say, Monica, you're quiet, because I can kind of get in a zone. All right, so I'm going to walk you through all these steps, and I'm going to set my timer for about 25 minutes, just because that way it helps me keep track of time in case we go over. All right. So everybody take a deep breath, close your eyes. My eyes will be closed the whole time, probably. And I want you to take these deep breaths that are not of any effort. They're just calm and soft. And on your inhales throughout this whole process, I want you to always inhale this white or whatever color you see. It's like a sparkly light I see that comes in through the top of your head. And it comes from God of your understanding. It can come from a planet, it can come from fluffy clouds, it can come from however you view God. And you're going to bring in this white light through the top of your head on every inhale. And on your exhale, I want you to see these cords that come out through the bottom of your feet. And those cords go down. They're very taut, they're tethers. And they go into the core of the earth. And I want you to keep sending them down, down, down. Keep going down further. And they're going to wrap around this crystal quartz that is in the core of the earth. It's like a 1,500-mile crystal quartz. And these tethers keep you, they stay very taut. Okay, so you're going to keep those taut, wrapped around that crystal quartz for the whole session. Excuse me. Inhale again, white light in through the top of your head. And on every inhale, I want you to start seeing your body fill with this white light. And as it fills in your body, it starts to fill even more around your heart space area. So go ahead and put one of your hands on your heart and see this white light accumulate around your heart area. It's just floating there. It's really calm. Keep inhaling more on every inhale. And now on each exhale, I want you to envision this white light going from your heart space out, and it creates kind of a cocoon around you. Inhale, bring in more white light. Exhale, bring out that light to form this cocoon. It's like a bubble, and it surrounds you, and it only lets love in and out. That bubble's going to stay with you this whole session. Do some more of those calm breaths, and let's get this bubble forming. Once you have this bubble formed, I want you to keep inhaling that white light through the top of your head. I want you to reach out your other hand forward as if you are maybe placing your hand over the earth. It can be a representation of the earth. It could be an image of the earth that you draw in the sand, wherever you find yourself being. Some people like to be on the forest floor. Some people like to be at the beach. Some people like to be out in the stars. Wherever you find yourself, I want you to see an image of the earth in front of you. One hand is on your heart, and the other hand is reached out toward that earth. Inhale white light through the top of your head, and exhale out that light out of your heart area and out of your extended hand. And it's going to go out of you like a beam. It's like a constant beam. It's going out of you with every exhale. Every inhale, you're bringing in more into your body. And this beam is reaching out. I see a lot, so I'm just going to tell you what I see. So they're showing all of us accumulating in a circle. This time I'm seeing us out in the stars. And there's all these beams coming out of us of this white light. It's kind of turning golden as it comes out of us. And all of these beams are connecting. The flow is constant. So let's just keep doing this for a moment. I want to bring your attention back to those tethers coming out of your pelvic floor and your feet into the earth. Those are going to stay there. Inhale, calm, long breaths into the top of your head, to your heart. Exhale out your heart to these beams coming out of you. It's really neat. They're showing it connecting. All of our beams are, because they're beams, it's this grid. They're connecting, and where it's connecting, it's getting illuminated. It's like there's something developing in the middle, and it's like a, dare I say the word rumbling, a rumbling of energy. It's good, it's light, it's pure divine love and light. It's like we're lighting a bonfire together. Keep breathing in that light through the top of your head and exhaling out more from your heart. At this point, I'm calling in all freelance angels. There's a lot of freelance angels that are always waiting. Since we have free will, they're waiting for us to request their help. And I'm calling them in now. It's like they're filing in to this scene and around us, forming this circle around us. There's a whole line of, ooh, this is really neat. There's a whole line of them wanting to come in. It's very grand. I usually don't use that word. But it's very grand. They're all in white with wings and they're single file and they're all coming in. Every inhale, bring in more of that white light. Every exhale, send it out your heart and your hand to the earth. Doing this together. And if you need to, let your human self, which is fine and beautiful, let your human self just kind of step aside or go to another room or wherever. And let your soul of who you really are step forward in this process. They're kind of showing that each of us has a reminder that we each are like these two layers, if you will, where one is of our soul and one is of our human self. And they're wanting you to send in your mind's eye the layer that's your soul to the forefront of you. All these angels have their hands at our backs, so that they're bringing in their own energy through us as we're a channel here. Remember those tethers from your feet down into the earth. Keep those strong. Every inhale, more white light. Every exhale, send it out your heart and your hand to the earth, to this grid. We're all connected in this. It's really beautiful. They're showing it drip down that grid. It's like dripping down into the earth. More of these angels are coming in. They're all assembling behind us. Some of them are putting their hands on our solar plexus. It's like we each have a hand on the back of us and on the front of us at our solar plex. Keep bringing in this light, you guys, and keep exhaling it out to this grid. It's really, really, it went from a drip to a big pour. It's like this grid is getting really powerful and it's pouring out the bottom half of this grid into the earth. Still this bonfire that's in the middle of us where our grid is connecting. Deep breath. They're showing this, I guess it's a mast or it's a torch. It's a pole, it's a torch, and it's coming up from the center where this bonfire was. At the top of this pole, it's very significant. There are some flames, maybe like a tiki torch. And a lot of us are reaching out our hands to cover this pole. So if that resonates with you, you can move your hands there in your mind's eye. It's like we're all, it's really beautiful. We're all putting our efforts together in community, and we're overlapping our hands on this pole, taking a stand That's what they said. Deep breath. We're wanting this torch to remain lit. Those of us that have our hands at the base of this grid are keeping this torch lit. There's some of you that are feeling really, really strong and adamant about this, and you have your hands up on this torch, holding it along the pole. And they're showing some people wanting to pull it one way and then the other. So I'm asking you to take a deep breath and shift this into neutrality to serve the purpose that is of divine white light. It's not of one way or the other. It's not one way that we think it is. There's more to us there's more to this than we know. So chill out that energy of one way or the other, or what is right and what is wrong. Take a deep breath, drop our shoulders, and if you're clenching anywhere, unclench. And trust this process of neutrality. It's loving without conditions, I suppose. That's what this is. Breathe in through the top of your head. Exhale out your heart and your hand into this grid. I want you to envision this torch, this pole, is upright. It's not leaning. And all the hands that are clutching it are calm, neutral, and sending out love without conditions. There's a big thing about love that we don't know beyond our human mode, our human minds that think love is one thing, but it's so much more. And believing and just trusting that notion, let's just sit with that for a minute and exhale out that energy. It can be of pure love that we don't understand yet. And send that out to this pole in the middle they're showing is it's like an antenna that is like an acupuncture needle sort of, and it's into the earth. It's going into the earth at its base. So all this energy that we're sending to it is going directly into the planet. Inhale into the top of your head, exhale out through your heart. Keep doing this for a moment. I want you to see the divine energy that's exhaling out of your heart into this pole. Send it down that pole right into the core of the earth. They're showing these massive hands. They're not, I don't think they're human. I don't know, but they're underneath this whole scene that we have created here. It's like they're holding all of this whole scene, all of us and the earth and this pole and this grid. They're holding it underneath with their hands that are really, really huge. Okay, this makes sense. Keep doing the inhale. Every inhale, bring it in. Every exhale, send it out. See those cords into the core of the earth. So these big hands are catching what's coming out. There's this stuff coming out. Deep breath. Unclench. Send it to this pole. See it go down into the core of the earth, and there's this, the bottom of it, there's this, it's like a stagnant, darkish energy. Some of it is kind of crumbling out, and some of it is floating out, and it's all dark, and it's going out into these massive hands that are white. They're just kind of an illuminated white, so to speak. Hands are catching all of this, so this is good. Keep going, guys. Drop your shoulders. Send it out to that pole in our grid. Got a few things going on here at once. We got that pole that is really sending in a condensed version of this down into the earth, and these grid lines that are coming out from us are also wrapping around the earth. Massive hands are, it's like they're a magnet for what we're doing here that is clearing out. It's clearing out some things. These are just words coming to me. It is doing something. It is clearing out, sending it out of the earth. Deep breath. These massive hands are catching it all. These angels are focusing again with their hands on our backs and on our solar plexus, giving us strength to stand in our beliefs and in what we're doing here. Standing in your sovereignty, they're saying. They're asking you all to remember this throughout your days. Ask for assistance whenever you want to help stand in your sovereignty, to speak your truth, and to do whatever it takes to learn about loving without conditions. Might be really hard to do these days, but we can do it. Deep breath in through the top of your head, that white light. Exhale out from your heart. I'm seeing it turn kind of pink. You might see a different color. There's these beings coming down to those hands and cleaning up what's on those hands, taking it away and recycling it into something positive. Deep breath in, deep exhale out through your heart into this grid, into this pole. There's a little more coming out still from the bottom of the earth into these hands. Now this being that has those big hands is inspecting with one hand what is coming out. I don't know what that means, but I am telling you what I'm seeing. They're inspecting it with their one hand to see, like they're finding gold nuggets. That's interesting. Big inhale, calm inhale. Big exhale into this grid. Keep it flowing. It's winding down a little bit, and let's see what happens next. Allow this to go where it needs to go. There's places and things going on that we don't know about, and this is helping those areas. What we see in the news is not necessarily, well, it might be hard to hear, that is not necessarily where this grid needs to go at the time, but it certainly is helping, is what they just said. Big deep breath in, exhale calmly, trusting sending this energy out to where it needs to go. See those cords going from your feet into the earth. There's still a little more falling out the bottom of the earth. Some of you that are choosing to hold this pole, you have a lot of like bandanas and bracelets and leather straps and cool stuff around your wrists. You're like the warrior types. And they say that you know who you are. If you don't know how to help right now, but you want to in life, this is one way to do it. You can do it in the cosmos, they're saying. Some of us, they're showing, is the type to go out, hold a sign up in a protesting way, but others are not. Big breath. I know that word triggered some. Send love and light to that word, protest, or these signs, without any human thought as to what that's doing or any wrong or right. Just flood those signs, those people, their ideas with love and light. Deep breath in. Now they just showed the big hands at the bottom of the earth, brushing off their hands as if we completed that portion. And they're showing this really adorable angel come land in the middle of our grid, right where that pole is. She's holding on the pole. She's light-hearted, happy, full color. She's going around nodding to each of you in like a reverence, with a reverence, giving you each a nod, going around the circle. And now she's getting really playful and spinning around it. Deep breath. You guys, it got real quiet, so hold on with me here, because we're gonna go through some steps to close this out. Take a final deep breath of that white light through the top of your head, out through your heart, knowing that this grid work is still going to continue even after this session. It's flowing. We've got it really flowing. It's wrapping around the earth. That pole is still there. The flame is still there at the top of it. Some of you are wanting, those warrior types are wanting to keep holding onto that pole, and that's fine. But stay with me in these steps here following. So I want you to retract that hand that you had that was reaching out toward the earth. You could put it over your heart. You could put it anywhere in your body that you want. I want you to imagine any type of threads that are going from you to the scene that we were just part of. And kind of pull those threads, those cords out of you with love and with light, And those threads and cords are full of that divine energy. So those threads and cords just go directly to that scene of earth that we just did, we just created. We're just going to add to it. So you're pulling those out of anywhere in your body that you see. I kind of see a bunch in my brain area, my heart area, all up and down the front side of me, even the back side. Just with love and light and calm and all those freelance angels, they're helping pull all of those threads and cords from our bodies out and letting them float over to the earth. Deep breath. And now I want you to imagine that in front of you, there's like a sunshade. It's opaque. You're going to pull it down from top to bottom. You're going to pull it all the way down. So you're looking at that sunshade. That's all you see. And then turn around so your back is facing the sunshade. And I want you to take a few steps. And there's 2 consecutive doors. I want you to walk through one door at a time and close them. They're really neat doors. I see really neat doors, like painted neat colors. Close them. Walk through the next one, close it. And when you've walked through both doors and they're closed, just say a couple times to yourself, take from me that which is not mine. Take from me that which is not mine. And thank all the angels and divinity and your higher self for coming through in this. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And come back. If you have any, when you're ready, if you have any experiences you want to share, thoughts or feelings, you can put it in the chat. That would be wonderful. If there's something different you saw, you can share that too.
It's beautiful, Monica. Man, powerful. And I was just there every step of the way.
Nice. It's different every time. I've never seen that pole or these warriors. I think they're part of your team, Shauna. They're part of your tribe here on your
That's
channel is what
right.
I
That's
mean. Part of
right.
your followers. They seem to have this warrior. It was kind of like not mad, kind of Mad Max, but not with that energy at all. But like, you know what I mean? Like the lots of stuff around their wrists and
We are the army of light, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There
yeah.
you
This
go.
is
Whew.
yeah, this is it, man. Nice. Yeah, I just want to kind of spend more time in that field with that grid, just,
Yeah.
so, just being a part of that. I mean, it's just, it feels just important. So nice work, Monica. It's just beautiful.
Thank you. I'm doing more of these. So anybody that wants to be a part of them, just reach out to me. So I'm still spacey right now. Reach out to me so you can get on my list. We have a comment here from Lori, my BFF. I was deeply rooted that whole time and felt so much love pouring out of me. Nice, Lori. That's awesome. Good. Being rooted, that's good.
We've got some nice YouTube channel or YouTube stuff coming in too. I felt tingles, saw glorious colors. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see everybody here in the chat. All our Regina, Kimberly, Mike. Thanks for joining, Lizzie. Yay, guys. Thank you. Thank you. There's Anna. Let me go back to this. Any other questions for Monica? or myself, or
Mhm.
any other experience anybody wants to share. Lots of thank yous in the chat, Monica.
Mhm. Thank you guys for being a part of this. I know it's a thing. Um, I I recently had this conversation with a woman who channels Mother Mary, and her tone is pretty light, but when she got really not stern, but oh, in a stern way, I don't know. Um, she she said, "You must continue with these world healings." She called them world healings.
Okay.
She said, "You must continue with these world healings. They are helping."
Okay.
And she yeah, it was just kind of like a stern matter of fact thing. So
Maybe it's time
here
for
I
you to
am.
start your own YouTube channel, girl. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not ready
Yeah.
for that.
Okay. Okay.
What, whatever. I'm willing to see what happens, where these go, but for
Oh,
now, and also I'm supposed to be doing these in person too. So, anybody that feels called to have this done in person in your community, and you have some of your people there in person that want to be a part of this, reach out to me, and we'll gather ways to make this happen.
I love it. And that's same with my guides with the GFL, bringing those channelings on the road. It's such a different experience to do it in person. And we're ready. We're kind of getting out of this pandemic here, and we are,
Hmm.
ready to come back together. And yeah, our teams are like, yes, let's do this. So I mean, amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
building of community, coming around for each other, being there again, like we talked about in the beginning, to kind of share these experiences. It's so hard when you don't have anybody to talk to, or everybody's going to think you're crazy. But the teams are here, the guides are here. This veil is getting thinner. So I mean, it's just so exciting, Monica, to just see how things are evolving so quickly for us as individuals and as a collective. It's just how fun is this? It's so fun to watch.
It is fun, and it's just amazing. I remember when you first were saying on your channel, you know, do a meditation an hour a day. I was like, yeah, I think I tried it a few days in a row. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm not going to tell Sean I'm not doing it. But anyway, I don't know, something clicked in. You planted a seed, and then when I
Yeah,
was ready, I started to. And
yeah,
boy, what a difference. Well,
yeah,
daily meditation does in general, but it
yeah,
took me a while to get into that too.
yeah.
Nothing's happening. I used to go to these group meditations at a metaphysical store, and they all had these incredible experiences, and they were seeing Jesus and whatever. And I would just sit there and like, nothing is happening. It just,
It's like, be
and
careful what
now,
you wish for.
and now they would say, yeah, I just had a great meditation. I saw Jesus. And I thought, God, if I saw Jesus, I'd be what the, but anyway, so it took a while to click in, but it just, practice, man. It
Yeah.
just,
It's like once you get used to, you acclimated to that hour a day, you really crave it, like you want it. You feel when you don't do it. I mean, at least for me, it's like, okay, I've become, acclimated to being able to connect with my energy and or my guides in that way. And then like if you get busy or you're traveling and it doesn't happen, you really feel a difference, and you're being grounded, being calm and centered. Taking a deep breath, keeping it light, guys, blissful Charis. Is anyone else feeling super out of body? I feel like life is passing me by, and everyone is very irritating to my energy, including my partner. I want to be alone a lot. Is this normal? Oh man. What do you
big
think,
time.
Monica? Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal and it's common right now, and it's so good to make a time for yourself each day as a priority to do whatever, put on spa music, do a meditation, draw, do something like creativity that when we do something creative, whether it's writing, drawing, or music or whatever, it's allowing your higher self to come through. That's why there's no two drawings alike. I mean, there's no, it just, you're tapping into source. So the more you do that, you can you can feel that more neutrality. If you can't feel all ooey gooey love for some people, at least shift it into neutral. The people that are triggering you, that's happening with me too. With some people, I've really cleared the decks in the last few years of, breaking up with people left and right. That's a harsh phrase, but just that we're no longer a match.
Yeah.
Some more painful than others. But now the ones that are bothering me, I, you shift it into neutral. See that stick shift, if any of you are not too young to have driven a stick shift before. Anyway, they still make them. Anyway, and you can
They
like,
do still make them.
it really helps to toggle that in my mind. I'm like, I do the toggle where it's, in neutral, and then, do some cord cutting practices. Ask your Archangel Michael to come in and cut cords between you and the people bugging you, because first of all, cords of love can't be cut. So when you cut these cords and you do it, just do it 2 minutes a day or before you go to sleep or whatever, at the minimum, it's gonna cut the static between you guys and mellow out that notion, that feeling of being bugged or triggered by people. There's so many other ways to do this, and also sometimes it's because they are shining a light on you of what needs to be healed. It doesn't mean how they bug you is something that needs to be healed about them specifically, but like, what is it about them that's making you feel something from the past? Just let yourself feel it, kind of pull it out of your heart after you feel it for a minute or two, just kind of send it out to the cosmos. But you always want to be responsible and ask an angel to take it away. You don't want to be tossing it out for somebody else to pick up. But if that happens, I think it does. That's kind of a lot. I hope that helps, that I answered that question, but that there's a lot of ways to work with that being triggered right now of other people.
What would you say about alone time too? I know you live alone with your cats, and lonely versus alone. Like lonely, it does not ever factor into my world. It's like I cherish my alone time. How about you, Monica?
I do, and I do get lonely, and I have to make myself reach out to others.
Hmm.
You know, um, Even if it's once a week, hey, let's meet for coffee, or let's
Yeah.
whatever, an in-person thing. Like, make myself do it once a week, because we've been so introspective lately in the last couple years, that
Yeah.
we're now still hanging out in
Yeah.
that mode of not quite reaching out yet again. So um I I love my alone time still. It's a balance.
It is a balance, and I'm like you, and you and I've talked about this, like feeling the need to get out there. I reach out to my meetup group. Okay, we've got 50 folks, let's get together. I need to get that scheduled. But it's, yeah, I feel like we're coming out of this time of introspection, and it's kind of expanding a little bit more back into the collective. But we've needed this time to be with ourselves, and to be acclimating to the new energies, and to be
Mhm.
getting a handle on what this is, what we're doing here as light workers. What does it mean to be in love and not fear? Man, I mean, this takes time for processing, guys. Be really gentle with yourselves. Be really patient with yourselves, and get that time out in nature, and take your hot baths,
Mhm.
and, eat good food, and do light exercise, and, do things that are really selfish for you right now. And especially as women, we have a really hard time doing that, and putting ourselves first, and doing things that just make us happy. But man, that is really critical to this. And we take ourselves so serious, guys. We got to lighten this up. Got to lighten up. Everybody lighten up here. Yeah,
Whatever
that's
brings
huge.
you joy,
Yeah.
whatever lights you up. Yep. Whatever lights you up, do it. Do it each
Yeah.
day, even if that means, like, flowers is a thing for me. So even if
Flowers.
that
Yeah.
means I look at one, I go outside and I look at one, or I draw one,
Mm.
paint one or something. And not living in fear is, I found that the more I the more I trust divinity, the less I fear. That might sound really obvious, but I never really felt I've never felt this supported with from divinity, from divine God, whatever, since I began this meditation and writing. It's wild. I mean, I- I've not. I mean, and now I have more trust in the process of life. I mean, yeah, I'm still in therapy about spiders, but Jesus, I mean, we all have our 3D stuff. But yeah, just knowing that we're doing something, taking a class, having a healing session with people like us, or doing whatever
Mhm.
that gets you into
Mhm.
that connected into that divine, to go, oh my God, that's right. I do believe that, it just helps really rejuvenate you to do that,
Yeah.
workshops,
Yeah, it
whatever.
does. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting around kind of like-minded folks with the, like similar vibrations. Blissful Charis, and Charis has been with me from the beginning, just so she's been around for a long time. Thanks for being here, Charis. Very helpful. Thank you. Just trying to navigate if the irritable feeling toward my partner because we are no longer a match, or is it a collective thing? She's awesome, so sweet, and I feel nothing for her right now. We get out of alignment, vibrationally. It's happened. I mean, I divorced my husband after being with him for 31 years. These are tough, tough things that come along with this process of evolution. Um, I guess honoring that, honoring your needs right now, not doing things because you should or need to, but honoring that and being, really honest and truthful and from the heart, always, like with your, communicating with that partner of yours, just being really, honest with what's going on for you. Monica, anything else?
Yeah. So if you, with regard to when people, so first of all, you're not alone. There's so many people right now that are leaving partnerships. This is not saying that you should, but there's so many people doing that because if they feel like they're different now and they want a different match, but it's scary and it's sad. And who wants to be sad?
Yeah.
Who wants to feel shitty? So um, sometimes it can be the collective. And that's, I really, when I really don't know why I'm feeling something about somebody, I love to, couple things really help me when I say, take from me that which is not mine, and you say the heck out of it, and you say it a lot throughout your day. It's going to help whatever the collective is that's glomming on you or not, just release. Take from me that which is not mine. Okay. So if it's the collective, get it out of here. So I say that a lot, and that's really good. It really helps me shift my energy, and that can help with partner stuff as well. And then, I mean, this is like a really Mac Daddy mantra, and don't shoot the messenger. But when I was taught this by a healer, they said, just, they said that to me, and then my world just got rocked afterwards. But in hindsight, it needed to happen. It all worked out. Um, is She taught me to say, first of all, you come up with the emotion that you want. So let's say it's peace or happiness. Okay. And then, so that's your one word at the end of this Mac Daddy mantra, is what I like to call it. And it goes, I I release all people, places, things, thoughts, and ideas that do not contribute to my new state of peace. And man, whenever I find myself saying that in life, I'm like, okay, I'm bracing myself. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I do it, and I say it a bunch. And they're like, wait, what? That person's not my friend anymore. What? No.
Isn't that funny? Like maybe they leave, like you're thinking, well, I'm not sure if I want
Exactly.
to hang around this person, but then all of a sudden they just disappear because the energy is shifted. That happens a lot
Exactly.
too. Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
And I really love to begin that mantra with, with ease and with grace. That
Mm-hmm.
way it doesn't have, it can be as easier than you think, or conscious as you think. It doesn't have to be staticky, icky, 3D, blaming bad energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with ease and with grace, I release all people, places, things, thoughts, and ideas that no longer contribute to my new state of joy.
Mm. And my big one that
And
was like my two by four moment was with my free will, I give myself over to divine will. That starts something when you really mean that, that's and be ready for the roller coaster.
you said that in one of your videos recently, and I wrote it down. And I, every once in a while, I can fully feel it and say it. And every once in a while, I feel triggered, like, wait, what? I'm in control
What
of
about
me.
my
Why would I
will?
give myself up? Like, that's
Yeah,
creepy. And
believe me, I
so,
know.
yeah, I get reminded in my meditations and my journal, my channeled writing, that I am my higher self. My higher self did pick this journey. So it's just me saying, okay, I'm mellowing out the human mode to allow the higher self mode to be at the forefront. It's part of the game. It's part of, like, or how this works, and so so then it doesn't feel as weird to feel like I'm being taken over by something. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Well, so it's the top of the hour. It's
Yeah.
so if anybody needs to drop off, feel free. You won't hurt our feelings if you need to go. Thanks for being here. It's been so nice to see everybody join and to support us
Thank you.
this way and
Mm,
to,
thank you.
be part of this. Yeah, thank you, guides and teams, for being here. I mean, if anybody wants to hang on, or if anybody on the Zoom has anything to say or ask, we can open this up. Just raise a hand or put something in the chat there. Otherwise, you guys all have a wonderful rest of your weekend,
Mhm.
and you're beautiful, and I love you all.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for doing this. Thank you.
All right, Shauna, will you repeat your mantra? With my free will, I give myself over to divine will. It's that's a big one. You only want to say that when you're really ready to surrender. It's a big one, but it's good stuff. Lizzie says, thank you, Shauna, for introducing us to Monica. That's right. You're so welcome. Good stuff, you guys. Thanks for all your beautiful comments. Chloe, good to see you here too. You guys are amazing.
And in the on Zoom, Lori said, thank you so much for hosting this healing, Shauna. This hour is a real highlight and so needed right now. Monica, thank you for sharing your gift. Thank you, Lori. Thank you
Nice.
for supporting me.
All right. Is there anything else, team? Let me go to this chat here. Lori's saying, thanks, everybody. Thanks for sharing your gift, Monica. All right, we'll wrap it up, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, everybody. You're awesome.
You're awesome, guys. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Okay. See you later.